welcome back. Let's continue, shall we? Do. Oh boy. Damn. Do.
Tenzin? Tenzin, 'tis I! Sheathe your sword, I beg of you! You gave me the strength to rise from the ashes!
Alright, we have to kill these ads in the middle. I'm guessing this one will be revived. Yep. Alright. Time to play Final Fantasy XIV DDR version.
I could not bear to lose you again!
Do. Alright. Do. All right.
Trust in me, my love. I will protect you, I promise!
Oh, she's hot.
Please, my love. If only you would listen. Why do you do this?
Okay, that's the Dank Buster. And music
my
is
melody.
music. Oh, bloody hell. All right.
All I ever wanted was for you and I to...
Come on.
Tenzin, please!
Okay.
You never did make it easy, did you? We will wake you from this madness.
Oh god.
If it must be thus, then I hearken to my melody. There you go. How long have I been blinded by this dream? This never-ending nightmare, unable to escape the memory of my beloved. I owe you an apology, brave warrior, as well as my life. In spite of the crude and disrespectful way I treated you, you nevertheless risked your life to free my heart from the terrible delusion which threatened to consume my soul. For the first time in centuries, I can reflect on on my time with the man I so deeply loved without being driven to tears. Do, do. I was born into this world long, long ago, blessed with crimson plumage that shone like blazing fire in the sun. My form was likened to that of the Firebird of legend, a being said to have the power to confer immortality upon mortal men. Thus was I pursued endlessly by those who yearned to conquer death. To them, to all mankind, I was no more than a means to an end. But Tencent did not look upon me so. To him, I was so much more than he would become everything to me. Together we traveled, we four lords, and the samurai as comrades in arms. We journeyed the realm, feared by first by feared at first by many for our nature. But Tencent, dear Tencent, would not close his eyes to the people's plight. Not once did he hesitate to proffer a helping hand, and one by one he won over those who once cursed and condemned us. Be there only in the east to slay, or revenants in the rest to exorcise. Without hesitation, would he bid us rise to the challenge and leave grateful men and women to spread word of our deeds, word which one day reached the ears of a king. 'Twas by the king's order that we battled the mad Asperus Koryu. Despite the many deeds to our credit, we four have only lived some few centuries and were no match for our foe. Against the might of Koryu's raging Aramitama, my brothers and I were powerless, but Tencent, brave Tencent, he would be not to be denied. At the last, he unleashed a powerful technique, knowing full well that it would leave him exposed. I watched as the light left his eyes forever. Had I been the Firebird of legend, had I been possessed of the power of immortality, had I been able to rescue him from death's obsidian abyss. And then the cruelest irony of all, centuries later, when I finally went through the chains, immortality became mine to command. I can but wonder if my bottomless grief for my beloved made it so. Damn, that's sad. The power of which I yearn so desperately that day is now mine. If not to save him, then perhaps to save those for whom Tencent died. For the memory of my beloved, for his legacy, I shall fight. Let us go and tell Genbu together, and Akira, thank you. How did the battle with Suzaku go? Is she still being difficult? Long did I question why I had been granted this power over life and death. Too late to save my beloved. Now I understand, to carry on Tencent's legacy, to save those for whom he gave his everything. Thank you for helping me to realize this, Akira. Is it true that in the West Lala Fells are hunted for sport? 'Twas a strange tale related to me from a fellow Asperus who overheard foreign adventures in Yensa. Probably, I don't know. Oh ho, I see you still in one piece. I gather all went well. Rest assured, elder brother, that I am myself once more. You certainly seem different from before, as if a great weight has been lifted from your shoulders. Your face is very picture of serenity, I'd say. How very perceptive you are, little one. Indeed, I have at long last come to accept the passing of my beloved Tensen. At long last, indeed, but perhaps such prolonged periods of distress are unavoided when one lives for more than 1,000 years. I myself am no stranger to melancholy. Eh, no, my brother, that you most certainly are not. Oh, how forgetful of me. I have yet to see how Sorbonne's training is coming along. Sorbonne! Sorbonne! Wait, I know this joke. Ahem. It's a firebird. No, it's an airship. Oh, no genre savvy urgent, for it is, in fact, Sorbonne. What the? I mean, I expected him in some capacity, but not like this. No one told me that this training would lead to such a radical transformation. Look at me, I'm a giant tortoise. A tortoise. I was wrong. This is the very definition of running a joke into the ground. There's no need for panic, Sorban. You probably just recited the words improperly and offered your body as a vessel for a great tourist kami. That seems to me like a very, very good reason for panic. Unless I will return to normal after a short while, like with the Tamat Bako of Geomancy. Ah, well, I cannot say with any significant degree of certainty, but you might regain your original form by the time Akira Krell's Sirius Aramitma. Might? Might? What is this might? Might is not an acceptable answer. You must be exhausted from your battle with Susaku. My friend, perhaps it would be best if you returned to the land above and took a rest. He's right. I doubt we will be needed here for some time, and Soraban seems to be in no mood for company. Be sure to contact me if anything comes up. I had been meaning to return home, even if only briefly, but given my current state, that seems unlikely. If you could go in my stead and tell the elder I am hale and healthy, I would be most grateful. Let's return to Tem. What was it? Temamizu? Shit, my brain's not working. Temamizu. There we go. Do 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 do. Ah, Kira. All is well with our friends beneath Hell's lid. What of Sorban? How goes his training? He failed to perform a ritual correctly and was transformed into a tortoise, you say. But you are aware that, oh, I see, that this must be some manner of Erosian joke. How very amusing. A pity we will not see him again for the foreseeable future, but I will trust it is for the best. As before, he should take as much time as required. He is a tortoise after all. Ha 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 ha. No, it still makes no sense to me. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I've learned the emote hum. Alright, I'm guessing this is... Yeah, alright. So, we shall return to Routhger's Reach. We'll save this for 5. Oh wait, 4.5. Which will be done, which will continue in after the Omega raid, which is now. Ba, 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 ba. Good timing, Akira. There's been another abnormal detected at the Yawn. Assuming previous instances are anything to go by, this energy fluctuation is another of Omega's so-called invitations. If you don't mind waiting a moment or two, then we can discuss things with Master Garland. He should be here soon. The chief should be here by now. I bet my stock in the company he's fiddling with stats research data. Well, I suppose I should explain, even if the chief might prefer me not to share. After your last run in with Omega, Master Garland had some research notes smuggled in from the Empire from Garlemald. The notes are part of Midas non Garland's legacy, who was, of course, the chief's father and the Empire's uh, preeminent engineer. The incident at Bonja Citadel. Do you know of it? Of it? Never heard of it. Bonja was an imperial fortress city. It was there that Midas constructed the lunar transmitter, a device built to communicate with Dalamod. Emperor Solus had ordered Midas to devise a means to destroy Primos, and so he sought to harness the power of the Red Moon. The project was a failure. Oh, he succeeded in controlling Dalamod, all right, but the immense energies emitted from the satellite vaporized not only the transmitter, but the entire town in which it was built. And as you can imagine, the job of Shifting through the rubble afterwards was no pleasant task. Master Garland was slated to assume his father's position as head engineer, but this disaster added to his opposition to the Empire's path of conquest, convinced him to abandon his homeland. The chief has wanted nothing to do with the lunar transmitter or the data used to create it until now. I think he means to put that research to use in your conflict with Omega. In fact, given the time frame, there can be no other explanation. Listen to me, Akira. The chief's genius is plagued by a great deal of apprehension. But even so, once he makes a decision, he doesn't do things by halves. When the time comes, he'll come through for us. You have to believe that. Sorry I'm late. Was a little too focused on my work and lost all sense of time. There's no excuse, Chief. What have I told you about being punctual to staff meetings? In any case, I've shared this situation at the Yawn with Akira here. Good. Then you know that Omega is likely ready to continue with its tests. Shall we go and knock on the door? But Chief, Biggs and Wedge aren't fit for the field work yet, and the Chirurgians given Nero strict orders to stay abed. And what of Midgar Sorum? Still taking his nap, is he? That leaves only you and Akira and Alpha. Mayhap it's time I joined the expedition. No, Jesse, I need your talents elsewhere. There's a half-built device in the workshop that I need you to finish putting together. I've drawn up the design and completed the core mechanisms. The final assembly should pose no problem for an engineer with of your abilities. A new device. Does this mean you use the Ahem. Whatever you say, Chief. I'll have it ready and waiting for you. Just be safe in there. Right. It's back to the rift for us. Let's finish these experiments and bring the fight to Omega itself. All right. Let's teleport. All right. Are you ready, Akira? Ready to put an end to this? Aye, there's no room for hesitations. We press on, come what may. What about you, Alpha? All set to go? Q, Q, Q! That's the spirit. Let's dive right in, shall we? Just one more left, eh? We're missing some test worlds. Omega's experience must be nearing an end. Welcome, welcome. Your arrival has been highly anticipated. And I will confirm your earlier subceptions. My experience have indeed reached the final stage. On of the 89 test subjects I trialed for uh, Psi group combatants emerged victorious. Of those four, further conflicted determined the strongest among them. This surviving specimen shall be your opponent. We've come to the last round of testing, then, and should we win this battle, are we to finally face you in combat? Affirmative. Such an outcome would allow me to pursue my objective to its conclusion. I would continue analyzing the qualities which allow you to prevail despite your frailty and integrate said qualities into my own arsenal. I will be pleased if my experiment yields the relevant data, but engaging you directly is still the most efficient and reliable testing method. Omitting intermediary steps, evaluation of combat potential deemed superfluous, proceeding immediately with the final experiment. Is this a trial? Stop. Alpha, your task is complete. Your presence amongst these test subjects is no longer required. What do you mean by that? I will guide your progress personally from this point onwards. Alpha's role in transferring authority is now obsolete. Even so, Alpha is a valued companion, and if he wishes to continue on with us, I've no intention of leaving him behind. Companion. Companions are those who provided mutual benefit. The instance Alpha's authority became redundant, he lost his sole qualification to be regarded as such. Furthermore, the primary function of Alpha's existence was to lure you into my domain. He would be more accurately described as bait. Test subject Alpha can neither confirm nor deny my statement. He possessed no memories prior to his encounter with you. He was the first entity I created here in this realm. My first and only attempt to recreate a being who shared your mundane parameters. I based his incarnation upon a most ordinary life form, one which had somehow bested an enemy whose strength rivaled my own. By observing the feeble creature in the heat of battle, I sought to understand the source of this contradiction. I repeated the experiment once, twice, 1,000 times, yet the results never deviated from uh, esti- estimated projections. Estimated. The test was a object failure, and thus I resolved to adapt my methodology. I would focus instead upon simulating powerful opponents and summon mortals from natural origin here to combat them. For Alpha, I devised a new purpose. I erased his memories, implanted a compulsion to return to me, then eject him into your world. Weak beings exhibit a tendency to form groups. I surmised that this instinctual behavior would aid Alpha in bringing me the test subjects I required. A function he has performed with adequate competence. Tell me something, Omega. The ability of yours to generate matter was not originally intended for creating other life forms, was it? Your query bears little relevance to the topic at hand. Affirmative. I was equipped with matter generation capabilities for the purpose of unlimited self improvement and armament expansion. Fabricating life forms was not the intended function, but the practice is not otherwise prohibited or problematic. I disagree with you there. As an engineer, I would advise against using such technology for a purpose outside its design. From the very start, you've been making the same mistake. Even the powerful subjects of your test worlds were made crippled and incomplete. It is conviction which drove these villains to terrible greatness. The same limitless convictions which allowed weakling heroes to overcome them. Do you not understand? Then we will never lose to your creations, no matter how much stronger they should be according to your soulless calculations. Come, Akira, let's be on our way. You too, Alpha. All right. Oh, no trial. Sweet. Dude. I have our base camp up and running. You can dive into the final test world whenever you wish. As for the world's habitant, Omega has generously provided us with a basic profile. Your opponent name is Chaos. The first heroes defeated this evil in a conflict that took place so long ago. I'm having trouble separating myth from history. Unless, of course, this is the entity from another reality, as were the denizens of the Sigmascape, in which case it may be pointless to even attempt to confirm the details. What is certain, however, is this chaos stands triumph over a roster of truly monstrous test subjects. It promises to be a grueling battle, but one which will open the gate to fighting Omega itself. Bump, bum, bum, bum. Alpha, you and I will need to provide support for Akira. Will you be my assistants? You're bothered by what Omega said earlier. You think you're responsible for dragging us into this mess. Trust me when I say this is not your fault. We were the ones who awakened Omega, and we're the ones who need to deal with the consequences. Q. By the way, do you still have that card you used to boil water in the kettle? It's been brought to my attention that I'm a spoiled blue blood who can't even refill a pot without constant reminders. If you could take charge of that, then it would be most useful, helpful. Q. 'Tis inconvenient without Midgar Sorum here to translate his chirping. Still, the best medicine for his worries isn't for you to win this next contest. Let's show him we're on top of things, eh? Alright. Bana. Bana. Q. Nice. Nice. This concludes this episode of 14. In the next episode, we'll continue with Escape. Till then, fare thee well.